All right, good evening, guys. Friday night here. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. Monday is a replay night. I am live Wednesday alone, and on Friday, I have the wonderful pleasure of being here with my lovely wife. So, who should be here in a few minutes? We're waiting for her. And we have some information that we want to give out. Let me see. I can't find. Where's the post that we just posted? Oh, what happened? All right. Let's see. I don't know what happened. Hmm. Let me see. I don't see anybody on tonight. What's going on? Add the wife. What's going on, love?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Oh, I see more of the bedroom than I see you, but it's all right. You need to lower your camera down some.
How about now?
A little better. Still need to lower it down some more. I got more of the curtain and the everything else. I can't see the post. I know I posted. I know I posted. Oh, I deleted it. Oh man.
You deleted it?
Yeah, I gotta post it again because everything is in my phone. So no, if I do that, it's gonna cancel my live. So I can't do it that way. Oh man.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better. Much better. All right, let me do it this way. I don't think I'm gonna be able to post your what's the name? So let me see. Okay. All right. So good evening, guys. Keith Gale Velvin here, and you're watching Unapologetically Keith. And if this is your first time watching, one, why? Because you should be watching on a regular if you're here in the group. But okay, if this is your first time watching, what we do here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is deal with the various ways to enhance relationships or individuals, deal with different crisis situations, and try to have good, fun, adult conversation. Nothing rude, nothing nasty, but just things that allow you to come away with something to talk about. And so on every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, more so on Friday, I have my lovely wife with me. So Tiffany, introduce yourself while I put this stuff together here.
Hey guys, I'm Tiffany, the wife.
Really, really, that's it. Huh?
You know,
Anyway,
I'm just
Tiff,
I'm not
Tiff is.
I'm not feeling
She said, "Why can't
100%
I see you
today.
guys? You in the wrong post, Kim. It should be the post should be. Oh, let me see what's going on. She says she can't see us, but I know I just saw the what's name. I don't know where it went in the
Hey
discussion.
Tisha, how are you?
Hey, Tish is here. Okay,
Hey
so
Latoya.
there we go. Hey, Toya. Now they coming in. What's up, guys? I was wondering where everybody was. I think everybody's out there holding them candles for the president.
Hmm.
Wondering, really? That's what's hot
What?
in the street. You
What?
said, hmm. You said, hmm.
Listen, I said I'll say a prayer for him, and
There
that's
you
all I
go.
can do.
There you go. Okay, there we go. Now I see the comments. There we go. Let me try to get I think Kim is in the wrong spot. Let me try to bring her over here.
Where is
There
she?
we I don't know. Okay, so tonight, guys, yeah, listen, that's all we could do is say a prayer for him. I think sometimes you just have to let karma do what it does if it is karma. We don't know what it is going with this president. All I know is that things are moving very fast, but I wish him well because I don't want this virus. I don't want to come next to it. And if you do have it and they do have it and they didn't want to listen, you know what? God bless you. I just hope you get through it. Maybe going through it because, as I say all the time in the classroom, some people got to crash their car. Hey, Nikki, some people got to crash their car to know that drinking and driving is real. And if you want to go out here and play games with this virus and you don't want to wear a mask, I hope your lungs can hold whatever's going on. I'm gonna leave it alone because too many people died, and to know that maybe there's something else we could have did, man. Listen, you go in there and fight,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord blesses you and allows you to remain here. Then you was meant to be here. So it's out of
What
it's
I,
above me,
what
man.
I what I would
It's a
hope is that after he goes through this, that he doesn't come back and make a mockery of it and make less of it because 200 plus thousand people still have died, even if he survives. And he's the type, he's such a narcissist that if he were to survive this, he'll make light of it instead of respecting the fact that he was given another chance to hopefully make some positive impact.
some things you just it's above me now, and I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't want to turn this show into. Anyway, I got MC playing right. Turn this month. No, I'm good. I'm gonna leave it alone because if I say something, Mama say you ain't got nothing good to say. Shut your mouth. So I'm gonna shut my mouth. So tonight, and actually, guys, I want to apologize because I had put a post up in the group, and then when I deleted it on my actual page, um, we had a problem. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put a couple of pictures up if I can. I'm not sure. I don't think I can. Nope. It's not allowing me to. Oh, so I'm not going to be able to do it. So after the show, so you know what? No, I can still bring it up. I know what I could do. I'll bring up the pictures. So we'll do it that way. And you sent the video to where'd you
I
send the
emailed it
video?
to you.
Oh, you did email. Oh, you emailed the video to me?
Yeah,
No, you texted me the video, didn't you?
I text and emailed the video to you.
Okay, so hold on. Let me bring that up because I got the other pictures. Let me see what we got here. How you guys doing tonight? While me and Tiff is getting everything together, let's hear from everybody. Give me a little one word
Did Kim
or
come in?
two. How you guys doing tonight? I didn't see. Give me 1 or 2 words. How you guys doing tonight while I set this up tonight? Come on. How you guys doing tonight? Let me hear from y'all. It's Friday night. Come on. We got all this icky stuff going on in the news. Let me hear what's going on. Come on. Let's liven it up in here. Let
I
me
know
hear
for
what's
my
going on.
I know for myself, I've had a very long week. I've had so much work to do in the
Mm-hmm.
office, and when I got home, I had to take a nap. And honestly, hey Michelle, I couldn't I couldn't even
Michelle.
sleep. I couldn't sleep. I just laid down, turned off the light, and closed my eyes. Hey
That's Kim.
Kim, but
I got you. Now I've been good. Listen, it's being home with your daughter all day is rough.
no, it's not.
And yes,
She's a,
okay.
she's a
It's rough.
charm.
I didn't say
She's
she wasn't.
a
It's rough.
wonderful princess.
Yes, she is, but it's still rough to be home all day and then trying to take care of her and work and everything else. Now, whatever all of that said, let me explain what we're talking about tonight because I didn't talk about tonight's subject. So shout out to Kim Long, because it was Kim and Jamila that had the question of what happens. I think it was Kim first who said, what happens when you're dealing with toxic parents? Because Wednesday, if you missed Wednesday's show, you can check it out where we talked about dealing with toxic behaviors, the do's and don'ts of dealing with toxic behaviors. So when we talked about dealing with toxic parents, I did some research. So I put it together a little bit different. So we're going to deal 10 tips for coping with dysfunctional, alcoholic, and toxic parents. And the reason why is Tiff and I have dealt with all three.
Mhm.
So what did Tisha say? Tisha said, I didn't read what she said. I couldn't read that. The way your shirt, your yellow shirt is not allowing me to read that. What did Tisha
Really?
say? Tisha say?
Oh, she said hi. Hi, Tisha. How are you?
She said she was tired. Okay. So you want to talk about the content? Yeah, we about to talk about now why I got you fresh, because by the time we get finished this list, you're gonna be. You're gonna pull a blackout move like you pulled last Friday and claim that your phone wasn't working. I think you purposely blacked yourself out so you
No,
could get
I
some sleep.
didn't. Honestly, I didn't.
All right, so no drum roll. So here's the thing, all right, because we love what we do, and Tiff and I love you guys, and when we get opportunities, here go Amy. Stop that. It's my wife. I can do whatever I want. Here's the thing. So we love you guys. So what we want to do is we're going to start a contest. The contest goes up into Black Friday,
It starts
which
tonight.
right starts tonight. We started here first, so we're not even going to put it out on our pages first. So you guys get the first jump on it. We're starting a contest that starts tonight. It'll run until Black Friday. That's the day after Thanksgiving. And then on the show, because we will do a show Friday, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, we will do a show. And that's when we're going to draw the 3 winners. Yes, 3 winners. Now, here's the rules before I tell you what you can win. The prize is valued at $300. Okay?
The
The
prize
prize is
is.
valued.
Prize is.
Prize is. 3 prizes valuing $300. The first one, let me turn my little phone around here so y'all can see. Go ahead, Tiff. You can keep talking. Let me see what's going on
So
here. Oh,
often people ask me, where do I get different things? And a lot of times I'll get things in passing. And this time I actually had, when Keith brings up the pictures, I had the blessing to get extra. And when you get extra, you can do other things. So, one of those items, and Keith is going to bring it up. Did you bring it up
if
yet, honey?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Hold on a second. I can
Okay.
hear it. I don't know what happened. It said I had to get some type of code. Oh, that's right. I forgot I changed my camera. All right, hold on a second. All right.
But anyway, people always ask me where I get like clothes and jewelry and furniture and just different things. And I shop everywhere. And I'll be honest, 95% of my shopping is done online. Even clothes, 95% of my shopping is done online. Um, just because I'm a big girl, as you can tell, and I don't like going into the retail shops because I don't want to always have on something that everyone else has on. So for the most part, I go online because the world is at my fingertips and I can shop anywhere. So for example, and it's funny because Keith and I were talking about this the other day, my wedding dress I actually ordered from China. When I was getting married, when we get married, I was looking for a dress, but also I didn't have a big budget and I wanted something nice.
All right,
And
go. While you keep talking, I'm still setting everything up.
sure, when I started looking online, I actually started on eBay. I used to shop on eBay a lot, probably almost every week. So I went on eBay to look for my wedding dress. And I found this beautiful dress that I said, okay, I love it. This is what I want. I went to a tailor in my neighborhood and she measured me. Oh, I could check that out too. What is that? Shine for big girls? Okay, Tish, I'm gonna look into that because I love finding new shops. But I went to my tailor in my neighborhood and she did all my measurements according to the measurements that the merchant needed from eBay in order to make this dress for me. So I sent the measurements, I sent my money, and of course I was nervous because I knew it was going to China, and Lord knows what you're gonna get back when you send your money. Um, Not even just in another country, but even when you send your money here in the United States, you don't know what you're gonna get back.
I get Corona.
So I would say maybe 6 to 8 weeks later, the dress came and it was one of the most well made garments I had ever worn. It
What was
was
that? That
it
was like a
was
$2,000 dress that you got for like 80.
Well, the actually, and that's I'm going to get to that too because the dress was well made. I actually had two dresses. I had my ceremony dress, which is a dress I purchased from China, and then I had my reception dress, which was a dress I purchased from a retailer here. And I went to the tailor in order to try them on to make sure that they fit properly. The dress that I bought from China did not have to be adjusted at all. It fit perfectly, perfectly. And all I did was send them my measurements. They made the dress, they shipped the dress to me. The dress that I got from the retailer here in the United States had to be taken in because it was fitted, differently because I have a really crazy shape. I'm smaller, much smaller on the top than the bottom, and I'm very big on the bottom. So they had to take it. You're so silly. They had to take it in, and I fell in love with this dress so much. And I said, I have to find out how much this dress would have cost if I tried to purchase it here. So I went looking for it online, of course, looking through different bridal companies to see if I could find a dress. So finally, I stopped at David's Bridal on their website and I found the dress, the same exact dress. The lace, the it just it was the same dress. And the dress on David's Bridal was $600. The dress that I purchased from China was $85 plus shipping and handling. So Kim said, "Behave yourself, honey."
No, I'm trying to
So
however you sent me this video, it's not converting. So we're gonna have to just
okay,
explain what it is. So I
it's
was trying
okay
to open it up on my iTunes. I got
because
the other picture too, so I'll do that.
yeah, I'm gonna look into that, Trisha, because I definitely, like I said, I like to purchase clothes online, and it's funny because I went to an event. As everybody knows, I'm a part of the pageant industry, and we have to make appearances. And I went to an event with a friend to make an appearance, and of course, I had on my crown and sash, and a group of people off to the side, talking. So they came over because my friend and we had our crown and sash on, and they wanted to know more about the pageant, and we're both plus size and wanted to know where we shop. So I said to the woman that I did 95% of my shopping online. I explained to her why, and she said, "Well, have you ever considered stores like Lane Bryant?" I said, "No, not really." And she seemed surprised, like, why? And I said to her, because I don't want to look like every other big girl when I'm walking the street. So she understood and she said, I understand how you feel. And then she introduced herself. She was the vice president of marketing for Lane Bryant. And she basically um she gave me her card and she said, we've made some changes in our store, and I want you to come to. It was a flagship store in Manhattan. I don't know if it's even there anymore. I don't think it's there anymore. And she said, I want you to come to our store and look around and let me know what you think, and just shoot me an email. And I thought that was so cool because I was very real with her, not knowing who she was, and for her to be the vice president to just think of what to consider what I thought about shopping in her store. I said, okay, that's cool. But like I said, most of my shopping is online.
All
So
right, I'm giving up on
let's
this
look
little
at the
thing here.
pictures. You do have the
Okay,
pictures, right?
I got the pictures. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead, baby. So explain the go to items in reverse order of the values or whatever. So the first one is the spiral thing. Go ahead.
So the first item that we're gonna show
Well, I'm not going
is
to show. I don't have the pictures.
oh, that's
You
right.
only sent me pictures of two. That's the video.
I'm sorry. Do you have a video? Is the video working?
No, that's what I just said. I don't have the video. I have the pictures. I have the what's the name? Yeah.
Unfortunately, the video is not working, but I'll post it on my page and we'll post it on this page later. But the first item is a makeup organizer. And the makeup organizer,
Spiral makeup
yes, it
organizer.
actually it rotates. And the reason why I purchased it, I have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I actually purchased two because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of makeup. I have a lot of makeup brushes, nail polish, lipstick, lip gloss, perfumes. I have like probably 10 bottles of perfume in my bathroom. Uh, deodorant.
Whoa, whoa.
Was that your light? Did your light go off?
Yeah, lights went off.
My light went off too. What was
Our
that about?
surge. Trump then turned the lights out.
Well, I just heard the sirens too. Oh shoot. Okay.
I didn't hear no
I didn't
siren.
know. Yeah, I
Oh, I
heard the
know the internet
sirens.
just went down. I know the internet just went down. Good thing we're using our phones or we'd be off the air right now. Let
Okay.
me hear. You gotta wait, KL. You gotta wait. All right. Yeah, man. That's crazy. See,
All
this is what
right.
we live near Dover Air Force Base. So it is what it is. Keep it
You never
going,
know what's
baby. We
gonna
on our
happen.
phone. Yeah. We've had somebody says, what did she get a ventilator? Damn, Kim. I can't. I can't.
Anyway, back to the organizer. So I have all these things in the bathroom, and we have a closet in the bathroom, but it wasn't organized. And I saw this organizer online, and I said, okay, that'll work for me. Let me get two of those because I have a lot of stuff. And when they arrived, I had to put it together. It was, really easy to put together. I put it together in like 10 minutes. And then I started putting my stuff on it. I put my nail polish, my lipstick, lip gloss, everything on it. And then I realized I don't need the second organizer because it held so many things. And I wish I had the video to show how much stuff it held. But unfortunately, um, we can't post it until later. So that's one of the items that, what did you say, honey?
So I think there was a blackout.
It was a blackout.
It's on.
So the makeup
I'll bring you
organizer
past
is one of
scissors.
the items that we're going to raffle off. And as Keith said, the raffle is going to go starting today until Black Friday. The next item Keith has a picture
What that
of.
means, hold on. What that means is that when you purchase raffles, you'll have 3 opportunities to win, which means you'll be in all 3 drawings. We will draw until all 3 items are won. And what'll happen is for the price of the raffle, you will have a shot at all 3 things. And then there's other ways that you can add to. So like once you pay the initial to be in the raffle, if you purchase, say, clothing, or if you purchase a book after that time, you can get another add to the raffle. So the total is a $300 value, and it'll be $50. And for the $50, you get 3 shots at what's going to total to $300 worth of items. Yes, I will show the second item right here. Actually, I'm glad my computer, let's see, I'm still waiting. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the internet is down. So, okay, there it is. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. That's the second one. That's the jacket. Okay, there we go. There, let me turn this around. Okay, so you'll also have a shot at getting $80, these $80 boots here. What size are those, Tiff?
So those boots are a size 10, and they are in white with the blue shoestrings and a blue lining across the foot. I purchased 2 pairs, one for myself and then one for something else. But they are the most comfortable set of boots. Oh my goodness. They're comfortable. They have like this memory foam in them, and they're waterproof. They're cute. They don't look clunky because I wear size 10. They don't look clunky. They're actually adorable. So, Amy, that's your size? Okay, Amy, so you have to get in a raffle. They are a size 10 and they're wide. I have a very fat foot. I have a wide foot. I cannot wear narrow shoes. I put these on and it actually gave me height too. For some, it's like a platform in it, but it's so comfortable. It's like a inch or inch and a half platform, and like I said, they're waterproof. Those are being raffled off also. Um, KL, close
All
the
right, you want
door,
to bring up
please.
the next one? You want to bring up the next one?
Yes.
Okay. So the biggest and those are an $80 value, by the way. The boots are valued at $80, and the biggest item that we're raffling off, which is valued at $150. Uh,
I think he
no,
did,
actually,
Toya.
it's on that. What?
I think he did. You
What
nodded
happened? I
the
did what?
camera yes at my fat feet. Oh, Tisha, the name of the boots are called I think it's Kombu, KHOMBU. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right. Kombu, KHOMBU. Kim, you know what, Kim? The organizer can hold more than just makeup. Like I said, it's right now it's holding my perfumes, my lotion, my skincare, um, like I said, lip gloss, my tweezers, because you know I gotta pluck my eyebrows, pluck my chin. I'm not gonna even lie. Um, nose scissors. Like it holds a lot of stuff. So it doesn't just hold makeup. It holds a lot of stuff. Um,
It's like three levels to. It's three levels
yes.
to the spiral. What's name? And then there's like a little small shelf on the top. And
Yep.
again, what happened is once I get the video working, because I have it on my phone. So I will post it back in the group once we're done tonight. So you will get to see all three items together. So you will get to see it. So the spiral is worth about $30. Um, the boots are about 80, and
Kim, you don't
the
like the coat? Kim, what's wrong with the coat? Keith, you don't have a full picture of the coat. Raise it up a little bit. Raise it up.
raise
Okay.
raise
Raise it
what
up.
up?
The camera. Okay, there it is. There it is.
There it
Okay.
is. Is that it?
So, uh, raise it up. Raise it up. Right there. Right there. A little bit down. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Keith, that right
Actually,
there.
hold on.
No.
I gotta move my camera closer. All right, how's that?
Kim, I forgot you're in California.
We good?
But Kim, you could get these as a gift for someone. These can be gifted to someone. So the coat is called Arctic Edition, and this was also a coat that I bought for myself. This coat is very adorable. Unfortunately, it's not in blue. Um, I could not
It's in
find a
white.
picture. It's a white coat. I could not find a picture of it in white for some reason. So the blue that you see, the coat that I have is in white. I also purchased it for myself. I also purchased the boots for myself. The coat is a size 3X and it's very cute. I purchased the 2X for myself and it fits comfortably, but the coat that I'm raffling off is a size 3X and it's in white. So those Amy, you so silly.
And when Tiff is not feeling so tired, she will model hers, not the ones that we're going to be sending you. We don't get down like that.
Yes, and the the coat will still have the tags on it. Believe me, I'm not sending you a coat that I wore. I have my own coat, the same style. Again, it's called Arctic edition, and it's a size 3X that we're raffling off. And like I said, I purchased a 2X for myself. But those are the three items that we're raffling. And again, that starts today until Black Friday. Honey, how much are they raffling? How much are they going
The
for?
raffle to get in, actually still don't have any internet, so I can't do anything. The raffle is going to be, the entry is $50, and you will be in all three drawings. Your name doesn't get removed, so you have a chance to win all three if your name gets picked. And the same way you saw me draw the raffle with the wheel, every time you get entered. Now here's how it works. When you pay the $50, you're in. Your name will go added to the wheel. I will take screenshots at different times, so I will let folks know how many people are in. There is no minimum. If four people get in, four people gonna win. That's really it. And also, here's the thing. Now,
So
this is the way that you can bump up.
Four people are not going to win. Four people will have a chance
One,
to win.
4 people have a chance to win. Yes. Okay. So here's the other thing as well. Now, once you are in, once you spend the $50 and you are in, you have a shot. You're good. You have 3 shots at what's going on. Now, you know that Tiff and I run Braven Publishing. If you now go to the Braven apparel site, purchase any type of apparel, and you show us the receipt, for every item that you purchase, you get another entry into the raffle. Also, if you go by the website and purchase a book, any book that you buy, you get another entry into the raffle. There is no limit. So if you buy items, you get entries. And so these are going to make good Black Friday gifts. These are going to make great Christmas gifts. And what you are getting is an opportunity to get $300 value prizes for only $50. And then, of course, if you purchase apparel or purchase books. Now, the reason why we do this is, again, like Tiff said, she was able to get extra. And by this way, we give everybody a fair shot at it. And at the same time, um, we can have some fun with it. And of course, we're still in business, so this is what we do. But we wanted to make it at a price that was affordable, as well as we wanted to make sure that the prizes were worth what you're laying out. So you're not laying out $50 and somebody's going to send you like a gift box with some BS in it. We don't get down like that. I can't read all of the what's name. Let's see. But I live.
These are definitely quality items. These are items that I'm using myself. So it's not, and that's another thing.
Michelle, with the way climate issues are going on right now, it might have been 40 or 50 degrees. By the time we get to winter, we don't know what temperature is going to be. So you might want to prepare, because climate change is real. And so, but either way, these make great gifts, and you don't have to pay. Shipping and handling is included. You do not have to pay for the shipping and handling. We will do that. So the winners get the shipping and free shipping and handling. But again, $50 to get in, and you will have automatically off the rip, you will have 3 shots. If you want to increase your chances and also support Tiff and I, you can buy Braven Apparel, which you can get. I just added 3 t-shirts today to the list. We got bags, pillows, coffee cups, whatever, as well as you can purchase books. But you cannot purchase the book and say, hey, I bought a book, I want to get in. No, it only matters after you pay the initial. Once you pay the initial, anything that you buy to support Tiff and I will give you an entry into the raffle once you have put the initial $50 in. Because some of you will go buy a coffee cup and say, I want in. No. No, not happening. But I bought the coffee cup. Thank you. We appreciate it.
The first $50 will get you 3 entries, for one for each item. And then anything
and you are not removed.
Anything you purchase after will get you an entry in the raffle.
Exactly. So, and I am going to donate 3 books to the raffle. So there's going to be an opportunity to win 6 items, and those books are $15 each. So that's another $45. So that's another $50. So you're going to stand to make $350. So there's going to be $350 worth of prizes going into the holiday. I might even make it a 4th book, make it even 60, but we'll see. So there's going to be opportunities to win. You're going to be in it all. We got you. What she say? Can we fix this? What?
She says, we can fix this shirt in large.
All right, and that's another thing too. Yes, I will I do have I just put the We Can Fix This t-shirts up. They're nice Hanes t-shirts, made very quality. So we have them with the logo on the chest, and it says We Can Fix This on the top with the blank back, or you can get it with We Can Fix This and the embroidered emblem, and on the back it says We Can Fix This. So I will put that up in the what's name. But actually, I will give you the apparel list. You can go there and purchase whatever you want. It's actually BIT Tiff, if you can put it in for me. It's BIT.ly. Oh, Lord. That's right. You touch your phone, it might fall over. But I'll give you the link to the apparel right here. There we go. And by all means, now, if you have any issues or anything like that, let me know, because I don't want anybody not to be able to get their stuff. All right. BIT.ly. Oh, that's .ly. But go ahead, Tiff. So we are way behind on what's name. So we're going to have to finish this either next week, I guess. Actually, you know what? Before we even go to the top 10, we don't have to go to the top 10. Tiff, we were talking about toxic parents. Why don't you tell them about what you came up with your mom and your dad, and then what you had to deal with your mom and your grandma?
Well, it's something I realized very early on is that my family wasn't normal. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I was able to express and kind of identify what was happening. And I remember the first time I actually said it, it was during an argument with my mom. I believe that my mom and my grandmother suffered from undiagnosed mental illness. And just some of the things that happened, just it makes sense. And I remember I sat down with a therapist and I explained some of the things that went on when I was a little girl and when I grew up, and I told him what I thought. Um, my mom, I definitely believed had she was bipolar, and
Yeah.
my grandmother, um, she wasn't bipolar, but I believe she had mental illness. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a, but just based on things that was going on, and a lot of times it caused conflict when there shouldn't have been. And as Keith explains it as toxic family, it was very toxic growing up. And I'll give you an example. My brothers and I, we used to make jokes. Anytime we got together with the family, how long it would be before my mom and grandmother got into an argument. Because anytime they were together, they argued. And Michelle, we're cousins. Anytime they got together, no matter how good things were going, they would get into an argument about the most minuscule things. And it just didn't make any sense. And I often make jokes that my grandmother was a queen of shade and my mother was a queen of the clapback because they just would go at each other. And I mean, just vicious, nasty stuff. And it often, unfortunately, rolled down to me, who was innocent in it all. And it was very hard dealing with. There were times, and Keith will tell you that I had to not speak to my family. And my mother used to joke that I put my family on hiatus. And it's true. I would not speak to my family in order to do a few things. One, maintain my sanity. And then two, maintain the level of respect that I needed to for my mom and my grandmother in order to cope as as best I can say it. And there were times that Keith would take my phone. Like I wouldn't even answer the phone. I wouldn't answer my cell phone. I wouldn't answer the house phone. He would answer the phone and say, Tiffany is not taking calls. And it was that simple in order for me to maintain my sanity.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is that one of the things that we talked about with boundaries, I've had to see it up front because I come from a dysfunctional family. But listen, what ghetto family is not dysfunctional? Um, what I just learned how to do is just tune it out. You just simply, I'm not effing with y'all. And I go about my business. And I think over the years, what I've learned when dealing with toxic family is acknowledge that they're toxic and then find a way to leave them alone. Now, understand when it's family, you're going to be talked about. It's okay. I enjoy that. I told Tiff when I first met her, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't F with my sisters. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
F with my family other than my mom and my grandmother because I got some real shady folks in my family and I don't care who watches this video and has an issue with it. That's just how I've been for the simple fact that I seen this when I was a teenager and I've learned to leave it alone. And I think anybody watching, and Tiff, you got to read some of the comments because I can't see it
Sure.
because of your. What I've learned how to leave it alone is because once at 17, I saw how folks moved. Okay, I don't need you. And I know it's difficult when it's family. You want to figure out a way to make things okay in your family. Not me.
And I just
Go
want to
ahead.
say, I want to say what Keith is saying is right. It's difficult for people to acknowledge and admit that they have toxic family members because I know people, like I know friends and family who had toxic parents. But when you see them post online, they had the best parents in the world. And I'm looking at, didn't your mother burn down the house smoking crack? Like I'm like, it's really beyond me. So, and I find it funny because I had a discussion with my cousin the other day, and we were told she grew up in a very, very difficult situation. I'm not going to divulge what she discussed with me, but she grew up in a very difficult situation, and I was telling her that people were reaching out to me because my brother, who's 8 years younger than me, he had his relationship with my mom. I had my relationship with my mom. It was not the same. So there are times that my brother expresses his truth about the toxic relationship he had with my mother. So every
He basically
time
told
my
your mom to go to hell after she was in the dirt.
basically, and the funny thing is, I know my brother loved my mom, but they had a tumultuous relationship, and he didn't speak to my grandmother at all. When my grandmother died, he hadn't spoken to her in probably over a year. And people
What's
reach
up,
out to
Johnny?
me. They reach out to me. Oh my gosh, did you see what your brother wrote on Facebook? And I'm thinking, no, I didn't see it. So they're like, I think you should go take a look. And I'm not even thinking to myself like I need to go take a look because I can imagine what my brother wrote because my brother doesn't sugarcoat stuff. He doesn't hold punches. He just comes out and says what he wants to say. And I had to let people know that I'm not going to tell my brother not to speak his truth because that makes you comfortable.
And
I'm
he
just
needs
not
to
going
get
to
it
do
out.
it.
But hold on one second. I see that Tony, Kim, Tisha all put things out. Amy, I saw what you said about worrying about what they say. Kim, I saw what you said about the family, the way they treated you. Tony, I saw what you said about schizophrenia. Tisha, I saw what you said about schizophrenia. Here's the thing that we got to understand in a lot of families, guys, is that a lot of the mental issues that create the toxicity in families are not dealt with because often we don't have a great rapport with therapy. Often the only therapy that we get is alcohol, an ass whooping in church,
Mm-hmm.
or weed or drugs. So we'll say alcohol, drugs, an ass whooping in church. Beat it out of them. That'll make them feel better. I'm going to get high and drunk because that's the only way I know how to deal with it. And I'm going to go to church and slap all this oil all over your face and your clothes and everything else. And we're going to draw that demon out, whatever you're dealing with. And all that might have its place at times, but it's not sound therapy. And as a therapist, the thing that drives me crazy more than else is when people literally try to justify toxic behavior, especially in families. Because let me tell you something. I told my family a long time ago, go F yourself. And I told Tiff a long time ago, I don't F with my family. And I don't care whether they think that about me or not. They also knew if they borrowed money from me, I'm worse than the bank. You're going to tell me when you're going to give me my money back. I will be there to collect it. And please don't make me whoop your. And I'm talking to moms and grandmoms too. Because as I would explain to them, is if you don't pay me my money back, now I'm unable to help somebody else. And you now have hurt me because now if I give you money and we throw it down a well and can't get it back, both of us are hurting. I can't do that. And I'm not going to allow myself to go down a well because you've already thrown yourself down the well. Not happening. And in Tiff's situation, while we were dating, there were things that I had to just stay quiet to because I was a boyfriend. You can't say anything there. And I've watched her mom literally take out her own anxieties on Tiff, and then Tiff would find a way to have to try to absorb them, which was creating a problem for her. But once we were married, T to the Y, what's going on, buddy? Once we were married, now it changed. No, you're not giving your mom any more money. No, you're not calling this house after a certain time. No, we're not having those conversations. No, we're not coming over to do this. No, you can't come over here to do that. Because one of the things that you have to realize with toxic situations, one, when it's time to remove yourself. Two, when you got to speak on it directly so a person can hear it from your lips, you are effed up and I'm not dealing with you. Three, do not think because you are family, they have the right. to tear you down. Now, I'm not going to go into my list tonight. We're not going to do that. I'll do it on Wednesday. And I can't, Tiff, you got to read those because I can't see them because of your shirt. So you got to
Kim
read
said
the
the
comments come
same.
up.
Kim said the saying was whatever goes on the house stays in the house. And you know what's funny, Kim? And I don't believe that. I believe people who say that just don't want to be able to
Help.
face the stuff that they
Yeah.
need to face.
Yeah.
That's what
They
I
don't want
believe.
help.
They
They
don't
wanted to
want
stay
help.
in the house so they can get away with it and keep it in the situation that's going on. No doubt.
Mhm. And I'll be honest, like, I'll give you an example. My grandmother, she was a very needy woman emotionally. And I learned later when I became an adult,
I
um,
ain't waiting to get my paper.
I learned later when I became an adult that she was molested as a child, which might have some reasons for why she was the way she was. But she was a very needy adult. She wanted to know, do you love her? Like she would ask, do you love me? Do you and it's like it was an ongoing thing. Like, yes, you know I love you. You're my grandmother. Like I don't have to constantly say, I love you, grandma. I love you,
Yeah.
grandma.
Let
But
me
for
tell you
you
something. One of the greatest foolish performances I've ever seen in my life.
stop
An
it.
Academy Award winning performance. Let me tell you. Okay. All right. Listen. The day that Tiff's mom passed, we were in the car together.
Toya, it was more than reassurance. It was more than
We,
reassurance.
we were in the car together. Over the Bluetooth, we found out that Tiff's mom died. Okay, it was tragic, shocking. Oh my God. We were on the way to work and taking her to the train station. Now the whole day is just thrown into a tizzy. We got to get over to Bed-Stuy to find out what's going on. We get there, we find out her mom, who was dying of cancer, had made her way out of the house into the car, died in the car, fell slumped down between the seats of the front seat. She was on the passenger side, I think. She had sat in
No,
from the
she was on the
passenger.
driver's side.
She was
She was
on
on the
no, she
driver's
was on the
side.
passenger side. Remember, she was on the side to the sidewalk and was leaning
No,
back
she was on the
and
driver's
thrusting.
side.
Okay,
I remember clearly.
so she slipped in between the seats, leaning over. Not a good look. So now we're sitting there. Tiff is just in shock, and I'm like, so now like how are we gonna deal with this? So waiting for the police to come. So because of how it happened, the police can't move the body. So they were like, well, at least put a sheet over the car. But until they put a sheet on, people are coming by and she's out there. So the thing that's crazy is that, people don't watch what come out their mouth. So Tiff, I had moved her from the car. Her grandmother's house was about 4 houses down. We're sitting on the stoop. Tiff is just emotional, and I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to do. So no, that's not true. I knew what to do, but again, how I deal with death is different. So I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell jokes, I'm gonna do whatever. And I said this to y'all before, y'all might have heard the story. People were coming by and like, did somebody die? No, her mother's just laying in there dead. And they would be in shock and go off. People would come by, oh my God, who died? Her grandmother. I mean, her mom. Yeah, get your ass out of here. Yeah. So now her grandmother, who's in a wheelchair now, no legs, cut off at the nubs. I mean, cut off at the knees. So anyway, so she rolled out. The police now are down at the end of the block. They doing what they do. The body is still sitting in the car. It's been about 3 hours now. So you've been sitting in this house all this time, knowing what's going on out here, because we done already been in, talked to you, everything like that. But as soon as the crowd got large enough, as soon as the police was there, as soon as the coroner was there, here come grandma with the automatic wheelchair. And she roll up. She make the right. She go down the block. And then she fall back in the wheelchair, put on the Academy performance of my daughter. Oh my God. I was like, I should go down there and kick your chair over. I should flip you, roll you out in the street so they can
Mind
take
you,
both of y'all away.
my mom and my grandmother did not get along
At
up
all.
until
And
my
they had
mom's
just
death.
argued a week. They had just argued a week before
Up
where it was
until
like,
death.
you
Like,
get out with cancer.
let me show you. Okay, let me explain. Just because when we talk about toxicity, let me explain
Yes.
just how toxic it was. So, I spent, was it 3 months, honey? Keith and I lived away from each other for 3 months while I took care of my mom. And I remember I went over to the house because my mom, she wasn't eating. She wasn't able to take care of herself. So I went over to the house in order to make sure she had enough food to clean out the refrigerator because my grandmother had a home attendant, but my mom did not. She was living with my grandmother. And I just needed to clean out a space for my mom to put the little bit of food that she ate because she didn't eat much. And I was also discussing it with the home attendant, which was great because my grandmother had a really nice home attendant for many, many years. And
Was she treated like trash?
she treated her like my grandmother treated her like trash, but her home attendant loved me. And I think her home attendant loved me because the time that I lived in the house with them, my mom and grandmother did not argue at all. For those 3 months, my mom and grandmother didn't have one argument because I think they realized if they did, that I'd probably leave. And neither one of them wanted me to leave. So this happened to be a day that I came back in order to help my mom. And I was cleaning out the refrigerator, making a space on a small space on the shelf, not even a full shelf, half the shelf to put my mom's yogurt and stuff, her Ensure, stuff that people with cancer eat because they can't eat much. So my grandmother was just having a tizzy that people were messing up her refrigerator, that people were putting stuff where she might not. Now, mind you, my grandmother doesn't go in her refrigerator because she has a home attendant who takes care of her. So I'm ignoring her and I'm ignoring her and I'm ignoring her. And I guess she just didn't like the fact I've learned the power of ignore. I can ignore you really, really good. But she just got on my nerves to the point, and then she started talking some nonsense, and I went the hell off. I told my mother to shut up. I told my grandmother to shut up. And the home attendant was just sitting because she had never, in all these years, she had been with my grandmother for like 10, 15 years. All these years, she had never, ever, ever seen me get this upset. But I was upset. And I just went off and told her that she was the most evil woman I knew because I told her that she needed to read her Bible, everything. So the home attendant, it was so funny because she was sitting off to the side and she was nodding her head like, tell her, tell her, like everything that she probably wanted to tell her, I was telling my grandmother. And it was so funny because then my grandmother goes in the other room and she decides she's going to call the police. So my mom is upset. We go outside. We're talking. She's like, Tiffany, if your grandmother calls the police, she's going to try to have them put me out. I said, Mommy, she's not going to put you out. So when the police arrived, we were already outside. So it was two police officers, a male and a female, and I explained to them that my grandmother was who she was, and basically that as long as I was saying everything that she wanted to hear, I was her best grandchild. As soon as I said something she didn't want to hear, it was chaos. So they went inside, they talked to my grandmother, they came back out, they understood exactly what it was after speaking to my grandmother. So when I went back inside, what my grandmother didn't realize I had came back into the house. So she was on the phone with a friend and she was explaining to the friend, oh, I had to call the police on Tiffany because she just wilded out and she, just, and I'm listening to her and she said, telling her side of the story. And I found it so funny. She just had to call the police on me. In my 44 years of life, I had never, ever had the police called on me, except that one time by my grandmother, because I was cleaning out the damn refrigerator. So fast forward, I stopped talking to my grandmother for months. I didn't talk to my grandmother for months. And then my mother passed away. And finally, my grandmother called me because she's so sorry and whatever she did, please forgive her. She went through the whole thing. And she says, well, I finally called her. I said, she wanted to know what did she do so wrong that I stopped speaking to her. So I had
Not
to
claiming,
remind
not
her.
claiming her, not claiming her toxicity.
So I had to remind her that day that I was at her house. And at that point, I wasn't even angry anymore. I said, in all my years, 30 something years of life at that point, I had never even had the police called on me. And the first time I had the police called on me is by my grandmother. So my grandmother's response was, I didn't call the police on you.
Her famous, I
This is
didn't
what
do
my
it.
grandmother says to me. I didn't call the police on you. I
Her
said,
famous, I
Grandma,
didn't do it.
I said, yes, you did. And she said, no, I called the police because I didn't want Ina. Ina was my mom. I didn't want Ina and her homaton. I can't remember her name now. I didn't want them to get into a fight because, they sometimes get into it and I didn't want them to start fighting. I said, Gamma,
Craziest liar on the planet.
exactly. I said, Gamma, when you were on the phone with such and I forgot who she was on the phone with. I
The light
said,
skinned chick from the church.
yes, yes. I said, when you were on the phone with such
Convenient
and such,
Alzheimer's.
I
Yes, yes.
the way is funny. I said, when you were on the phone with such and such, I came back into the house. I said, I heard you tell her, oh, I had to call the police on Tiffany because. And, at that point, she realized I knew she was lying. But these are the types of behaviors that I have dealt with since I was a child. Like, I can remember being as young as 5 years old and having my grandmother attempt to manipulate me in a situation in order for her to get her way. And I just thought about like when I think about KL and how precocious she is and how she soaks up a lot of information, that I wasn't as intelligent as she was, but I was intelligent enough to realize when I was being manipulated by my grandmother. So these were the type of situations that I dealt with from childhood to adult to basically until she died. Just being trying to be
Yeah,
manipulated. It was crazy.
yeah. Her grandmother was the such that was it the cake when the home attendant
Oh
said
my goodness.
the
Oh
home
my
attendant
goodness.
wanted like the chocolate cake, so she's like, no.
No.
Go
No,
ahead,
no,
tell
no.
it. To
That wasn't even it. See, I could write a book. I got stories for days. So we went to my grandmother's house for her birthday. It was a bunch of us, her friends, the home attendant. Was your grandmother there that time? I think
no, it was all your people.
okay. So my grandmother's friends, she told the home attendant to take the cake out the freezer. The home attendant took the cake out the freezer. When it was time we had dinner, the home attendant had did all this cooking. Now, mind you, we all know that a home attendant only has to cook for their client. They don't have to cook for the family and the friends and the guests or anything else. The home attendant did all this because my grandmother used to cook a lot, but with her getting older, she wasn't able to do as much as she did when I was younger. So the home attendant cooked all this food, everything was delicious. It was a really beautiful setup. So when it was time to have dessert, the home attendant pulls oh, my grandmother asked me to take the cake out the refrigerator. So I saw only one cake in the refrigerator. I took the cake out the refrigerator. And my grandmother said, no, that's not it. That's not the cake. She said, put that one back. It's the other one. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I don't see another cake, Grandma. So I happened to look in the freezer and there was another cake in the freezer. So cake out. I said, this one? She said, yes. I said, this was in the freezer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She took the wrong cake out. What are we going to do now? And I'm like, well, we can
Eat
have
the
this
cake
one.
that's out.
Right. I'm thinking, eat the cake that's out. So
Eat the
she's
cake,
like,
Grandma. Eat the cake.
she was like, but I bought whipped cream to go with the other cake. Whipped cream can't go with this cake. And the home attendant is like, well, can't people put whipped cream on that cake if they want to? That's not the proper
Ooh.
thing to do. And like she just went on and on and on.
Yeah,
So I told
she
her,
tore into the home attendant and embarrassed her in front of everybody after she had made all the food and everything else. She just
it was
went to town.
embarrassing. It was
That
so
was the
embarrassing.
first time I see your home attendant look like if I just ran you into this stove. Yeah. The home attendant was looking at everybody like,
It was
if I just killed her
crazy.
right now, would y'all be a witness? No. Go ahead.
It
I'm gonna
was
go
it
out
was
front.
it was so crazy. And it got to the point that said, you know what? I turned to the guest and I said, does anybody else mind having this cake with whipped cream if they like? And they was like,
Everybody's
no,
like,
no. Yeah, like nobody else felt
everybody
like a
get that
big
look like
deal.
they like just eat the damn cake. I
Nobody
just want to
else.
get it. And
It
she
was
didn't eat it.
crazy.
She was like, I don't want none. And then she's
She
like, I
did
want to.
not eat
Then she's
cake.
like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So she knew that the home attendant would take her to the bathroom, so she couldn't get any cake.
Everybody else ate cake but my grandmother. So stupid. Just stupid.
Listen, listen. I had a front row seat. It's all right. That's why I told y'all Wednesday. I said, yeah, this is something Tiff can talk about.
I should have wrote a book. And I had instances with my mom too. My mom, and that's why tell people my relationship with my mom was different from my brother's relationship with my mom, because although we had our situations, it wasn't as bad as my grandmother. And I
Hmm.
remember my mom and I really getting into it one time, and I actually said to her, you know what? I said, I think I said something like your ass is manic depressive or something like that, because I had got to the point that I was tired. Like when you deal with that type of environment from a child to adulthood, at some point you just get tired of it. So when I see people say, "Oh, that's just your mom. Oh, that's still your grandmother. Oh, that's still,"
So
no, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to be abused
exactly.
emotionally and
Love doesn't
mentally and
hurt.
psychologically
Love is not
because that's
supposed
your
to hurt.
grandmother or your mother.
Love is not supposed to hurt.
And I remember telling her that I said, I'm getting tired of your manic depressive ass. That's what I said to my mother. And it hit her. Like that was the first time, like she knew something was wrong with her, but that was the first time that somebody actually pointed it. Because my mother used to be a nurse. Before she was a teacher, my mother was a nurse. So when I said your manic depressive ass, it's like at that moment she realized, oh shoot, that's what's wrong with me. Because she left me alone, and then she came back a couple of hours later and she said to me, do you think I'm manic depressive? I said, hell yeah. I said, yes, you're manic depressive, because she displayed those tendencies. And when I spoke to a therapist a few years ago and started explaining to him what I would deal with my mom, he said, yeah, I believe you're right. I believe your mom was manic depressive and she was undiagnosed, because my mom she went to a therapist once in her life, once, but she was never diagnosed,
She
so
once had a panic attack from the wind.
yes, my mom, she suffered with anxiety, but
Walking around the track and the wind blew real hard and she just sat down and started crying. When Tiff said, what's the matter? She's like, it's just windy. I'll be back. I'm gonna keep walking. Y'all go ahead.
I have to say though, my mom, she suffered from anxiety, but my mom's anxiety was definitely real, because my mom would swell up. Like her anxiety would cause parts, like I remember one time her eyes swelled up real, real big. So it looked like somebody beat her up. And then another time, her lips swelled up, and we thought she was having an allergic reaction, and she went to a doctor. The doctor said no, it's actually stress related, and she was studying for her master's at the time, um and he was saying it was stress related, and that's what was
I think
causing.
that's why she smokes so much.
Yeah, that too. And we actually, the doctor told us to keep Benadryl in the house because she would swell up when she would have her anxiety attacks. So her anxiety, thank God I'm not, because I have anxiety sometimes too. And I thank God I'm not to that point, because he told us to keep Benadryl in the house, because you never know if her tongue would swell up because of it, of everything that was going on, because it was always surrounding her face. So it was just crazy.
So one of the things that you see, guys, when we went over these things Wednesday, and I will go through the list of things on next Wednesday. I'll go through the list of the 10 things that we didn't go through tonight. But I told you Wednesday, I said Tiff has a whole lot. I mean, I could sit here and talk for hours about my crazy family, but F them. I ain't giving them that much attention. But listen, the hood is the hood. It ain't everything's dysfunctional in the hood. So it's like, where do you start? It's like whatever. But I think listening to you guys, when you see how all of you are connecting, I'm just reading the comments and realizing that we seem to have toxicity in various forms in all of our relationships. The key is how we deal with it. And the key is how you allow it to affect you. Also, who you have as a resource to help you when you are dealing with it. You can't always fight it off by yourself. You need to have somebody strong to be able to be there for you. I couldn't see what Toya said. Yeah, I'm cold. Listen, Tiff can tell you, I'm beyond
Yeah.
cold. Yeah, I'm ice cold because my nickname in college was Harry Heartless. I'm not really worried about how you feel. I still don't care how people feel about me. I don't. And I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people worry about how people feel about them. I could care less. And Tiff can tell you, I've said some things to some people that they go, "Oh my God, how could you?" You want some
You
more?
know, Tony, we all have stories, and I think that we all have to start sharing those stories because one thing I hate is old wives' tales, and you always hear, "Oh, keep that in the house, keep that among family." No, we need to start
Don't
sharing our
need it. We don't need to
stories.
share in our dirt and all of that stuff like that.
We need to start sharing our stories so that we can start the healing process. The idea that we keep trying to hide the the chaos or hide the mental illness or hide the fact that they just crazy. We don't need to
And
hide that
it's gonna
anymore.
show itself. It's gonna show itself anyway. Perfect example. The fact that Tiff detests arguing so much so that she doesn't even have healthy discussions because she has to gather herself first because she still reacted to things that happened when she was younger. Her brother, on the other hand, her brother um,
He
goes,
acts
he's
out.
going through it. He's go through it. He had to go through counseling and therapy to get help because he was going through some things because of the damage that was done to him, as well as some other things that he was dealing with. And I think what we have to realize too is that when we do not deal with the toxicity, it opens up the door for abuse. It opens up the door for a lot of other people to slide in and do things, especially the younger
Yes.
you are. And the reason why you got to try to curb that wherever you can in your family is because it can spill over to other generations, which then open up the door for abuse. That crazy uncle, that crazy cousin, or that crazy nephew, or that crazy niece is not crazy. They might need help, but if you allow them to act in a crazy way,
Mhm.
somebody's going to get hurt. And as I said to you Wednesday, the longer you stay in the proximity of something toxic, you become toxic at some point. Hurt people, and abused people abuse people. And we need to keep that in mind. I didn't read the comments. I'm hurt because I put my story on screen and people talked about me. Well, listen, don't be hurt. You did what you had to do for you, whether they get it or not or don't. Remember, Spike Lee had to raise the money for his first film on his own because they told him it wasn't going to be that good. She Gotta Have It became the movie that opened up the door for everything else. At the end of the day, guys, the reason why I own my own publishing company, the reason why I write my own books is I wanted to tell my own story my way. And I didn't want somebody saying, don't. I had people say, don't, shouldn't you change your title from Gigolo to Jesus? There it is back there on the wall. Is that, and I'm like, no. Well, if you take that Jesus out, maybe, because you don't want to offend anybody. I said, I don't give a F what anybody feel. And I don't care. And I still don't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I have seen when family can do you dirty, why are you worried about other people? And if I'm not going to talk to my family, you think I'm worried about not talking to you? And let me tell you another thing about when people don't like you. It's a beautiful thing. They leave you alone. They go, I ain't messing with him. And the funny thing is, let me tell you, and it's a real simple thing. Come into an office and say you like everybody but one person. Hey, good morning, y'all. And when you see that one person, hello. They'll know because you don't want somebody saying you're bringing a toxic, and thank you for that, Amy. I appreciate that. You don't want somebody saying, oh, you're creating a toxic environment at work. No, I'm just not effing with you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be rude, but I'm not going to be jovial with you. And the idea is because I don't deal with folks who got sickness, and toxic behavior is sickness because it's unresolved behavior. And if I could share with you half of the things that I hear when I'm dealing with some of the folks that I deal with, it's crushing. When you hear that somebody was molested by this person and now they're molesting somebody because nobody dealt with it, because no one addressed what's going on, or one person was molesting the two kids and then somebody else said, you better not tell her, you're gonna have you what is that? And this goes on a regular. And you ladies that have suffered through domestic violence, you've already seen what a super toxic behavior environment can be. The reason why Tiff and I do what we do is to, and Tiff, you got to read those. I can't see them. The reason
Kim said,
why,
"You are Casper. I just don't see you." She was saying in relation to, I'm the same way. I'm the same
that's
way.
it. But the idea is that, guys, you got to be able to identify toxicity. And once you identify it, how, whatever way works for you, make it work. But do not try to engage if that's not your thing. I counsel. That's my thing. But if counseling ain't your thing, or being able to help somebody ain't your thing, cut them loose. Cut
I
family
have to say
loose.
also that you also have to recognize when you have a toxic family member. It's not always ongoing. Sometimes it may only appear at certain circumstances. And I'll give another
Or
example.
holidays, everybody drinking.
I'll give another. That's true. That's true. That's true. But my grandmother was very jealous of Keith because once Keith and I started dating, of course, he took up a lot of my time. My mom, she was a little bit jealous, but not as jealous as my grandmother. And at different points, I had to tell both of them by the age I was when Keith and I got serious, they both had two husbands. So I had to say to them, you can't begrudge me of my relationship and my love for Keith when at my age, you both had two husbands. And it was so funny because I said that to my mother. My mother fell back and she understood. I said it to my grandmother. She didn't understand because in her mind, she wanted my attention. She didn't want Keith to have my attention. So you
And
have
when
to
she would say,
recognize,
how come y'all didn't come by my house? Because we wasn't coming to Brooklyn. Next.
and it was what it was. She did
Ain't
not
she?
understand it. But
Listen,
you have
guys,
to,
let me tell you something. Confront toxicity directly. Say your piece. Don't hold your tongue because you're worried about how they're gonna feel. Don't
mm-hmm,
hold that in and it hurts you. Let me tell you something. Why Tiff's mom was laying in that car dead, I told Tiff, let me tell you something. You're not gonna believe this now, and you're gonna hate me for saying it, but I'm gonna say it to you anyway. Your mom is gonna wind up doing more for you and that baby, because Tiff was pregnant at the time. I said she gonna wind up doing more for you and the baby dead than she could have ever did alive. Now, was I wrong?
mm-mm.
Thank you. Because sometimes you got to directly go right at it. Don't allow situations or people to push you back to where your voice gets quiet because you are absorbing that poison. And if that is not you, then go get help. But do not allow a person who is toxic to pour that poison into you, or you just accept it because you figure that's what I got to do, because it is killing you slowly. Don't do it.
And another thing that I would say is we have to stop telling the world that we had the best parents in the world if we didn't have the best parents in the world. It's nothing
Good.
wrong because my mom, hey
Hey,
Keisha,
Keisha.
my mom and I, she imparted a lot of wisdom on me. But we had our bumps in the road. We had our craters. There were issues in our relationship. I'm not going to sit here and say, and if the funny thing is, I'm not going to sit here and say that my mom was the best in the world. She wasn't. But I learned a lot from her. A lot. It is okay to learn from your parents, but that doesn't stop them from being toxic. We don't
And
have
it
to keep
don't
saying,
stop you from calling them on their BS too. Don't ever let your parents shame you into going, how dare you talk to me like that? I'm your mom. How dare you try to hurt me and you know I'm your child? Push back. Don't accept it when you know it's now. When you're young, that's different. Listen, they feed you, they give you a house, so you got to shut your mouth and take it. Once
mm-hmm,
you're old enough and you're taking care of you, and your parents stop with that foolishness, oh please, you used to beat me for stupidness. So don't. We're not trying to hear that, and don't let them miscue the past like it wasn't that bad. I was trying to teach you how to be an adult. Beat me with a stick because I told you you were wrong was teach me how to do what? Don't
mm-hmm,
accept it because again, it can create an issue that here you are trying to explain to a therapist why you knocking your child out and don't know where that aggression came from.
mm-hmm. And that's why I try to be extra patient with KL. And Lord knows she works my nerves. But growing up, I used to get beat for everything. I used to get beat for being a child. And it was crazy. So I said, you know what? I had got to the point that I said, when I have children, I'm not gonna put my hands on my children. I lied. She does get spankings. She does get spankings.
She can
But
run away.
KL does not get spankings nearly as much as I used to get spankings. So I realized I did not want to transfer that same behavior onto her. Get angry with her with just being a child. Like KL could spill the milk and it'll drive me crazy. Like she spilled the milk and she'll get frantic. Oh my gosh, I gotta clean up. Like the other day, Keith called me and she was playing in the living room. Keith, she broke my candle. Keith bought me a candle for Mother's Day, and she broke it playing. And he said, what, she came in the room and she was trying to. She asked you where the glue was or something that she was
No,
trying to put it
she was
together.
like, we can fix it. I said, we can't fix it. We can fix it. We can fix it. I said, we can't fix it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I had to shake her. I said, we can't fix it. Calm yourself down. Mommy gonna kill me. Mommy gonna kill me. I said, she might. I said, she might.
And the funny thing is, when I got home, I I explained to her that I was so disappointed because I really liked the candle, and Daddy had bought the candle for Mother's Day, and it really meant a lot to me. And I talked to her, and she said, "I'm gonna get you another candle." And actually, Keith said, "Well, I'm gonna have to get Mommy another candle now." And Kiel said, "No, I'm gonna use my money to get Mommy another candle."
And I said,
And
yes, you are. Yes, you are. I wasn't spending no money. Yes, you're going to use your money.
I didn't yell at her. I didn't get upset. And she felt it. She understood my disappointment and my sadness in having my broken candle. If that was me as a little girl,
Hold that thought 1 second. Keisha, you're 100% right. Parenting styles can be hereditary in terms of discipline because we act on how we were taught. And
mm-hmm,
often we don't realize that we become, and you know, the old adage, it says, the more you resist being your parents, the more you become them. So with discipline, people say, well, my father beat me, my mother beat me, so I'm going to beat my child. Maturity, experience, and knowledge has to kick in. And when those three kick in, there's no reason why you should be treating your children the same way as you were treated because you know better. My mother and grandmother used to ask me all the time, how come I don't basically rough my sons off when they would see them do something and they would say they're spoiled. And I was like, I don't disagree with you, but I'm not going to handle it the way you want to handle it. I'm not going to do it. And let me tell you something, when my sons and my ex-wife's mother used to smoke in the house, and I used to say, stop smoking around these babies. I don't want my sons to have to deal with secondhand smoke. She gave me that look like, it's my house. And I would be like, and I would tell my ex-wife, you want to go talk to your mom? And then she basically would say, yeah, but it's her house. She can do what she wants. I was like, really? Stop smoking around these children. She would really look at me like, who are you talking to? Okay, we moving. And then when we were moving out, she was like, no, no, don't move. No, no, no. So then I think it was a month into our new house, I saw her get ready to light up a cigarette. I said, take that outside. And she looked, I said, this is my damn house. Take it outside. You're not smoking in here. And she went outside and was looking through the window like, I should poison you, nigga. And I was like, you can think whatever you want. That's where you smoke. And I don't care how cold it is outside. And when my ex was like, how you going to shut your mouth? I don't want to hear it. Because if I tell my mother what to do in my car, my house, I'm going to tell your mom what to do in my car, my house. I could care less how she feels. This is my house, my children. And the idea is that once you know better, you should do better.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Hey, Gloria.
if you do not, you are allowing yourself to be used in such a way that it could have devastating effects
Mm-hmm.
for in the long run. And then if you wonder why some of your relationships are failing, it is because you never purged the nasty, negative, toxic stuff that your parents poured into you. And then here you are in failing relationships thinking something is wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
When there's nothing wrong with you, it is because you never addressed what was done to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm telling you, because I deal with this in therapy all the time, that people literally try to convince me, the therapist, that the way that they're acting is okay because their whole family acted that way. No, that's the reason why you acting that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the idea is you change it by addressing it. And then sometimes you got to cut them loose. I
Mm-hmm.
don't lose sleep about cutting anybody loose. I don't care who you are. I stopped talking to my sister once for 4 years, and I think, what has it been now since my mom died? June 25th? I ain't talked to her. We done. I said when my grandmother died, I'm not going to my mother's funeral. I didn't know that was going to be the case. Well, it's the case. I ain't go. Because once you said you were going to have what turned out to be, to me, a little mini super spreader, I'm not coming. Don't ask me. And I'm not worried about who. How can you not go to your mother's funeral? Because I just said I wasn't going. And
Mm-hmm.
okay, thank you. Have a good day. See, the idea, guys, is that you have to control you. And if you want somebody to love you, you can't have somebody love you if you are still dealing with parts of you that you don't know how to love. Because then the person trying to love you is not getting a chance to love the whole you.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents may have abused you, but for you to hold on to it, you are now allowing them to abuse you years later. Makes no sense. A lot of codependency and the need for validation unless starts from those closer to you. No doubt, Keisha. Kim said, I spanked my son Elliot, but I would tell them while I spanked him, my youngest I had to talk to, he laughed and Elliot got spanked. I told my youngest, I didn't spank you because you bruised like a bitch. Kim, I can't. I can't.
We can always
Parent
leave
your
it to Kim to
children.
bring some humor.
Parent your children the way you choose. But the idea, guys, is let me see what this says. Keisha says, so we carry that into relationships and attract the same. Of course, no doubt. Listen, our parents are the first male and females that we meet in our lives. So a lot of how we see folks is shaped through that. It's not by accident that Tiff's biological father was a womanizer and she married one. I just didn't continue like he did. I changed my life. He figured it out late, and then cancer claimed him. We gravitate to what we're exposed to until we're exposed to new things. That is the reason why you're supposed to get to a point that you get away from your parents. Even the Bible says when a man and a woman get together and get married, they cleave. He didn't say walk away, cleave, mean chop that off and keep it moving.
And we have to not be afraid to walk away from toxic parents.
Thank
I've heard
you.
so many stories of
I got to take
people
care of my mom. I got to take care of my
losing
dad. They need
losing
me.
their
And listen,
relationships because they couldn't address the toxic parents. Like I know a good friend of mine, she was in a marriage where her husband allowed his family, his mom and his siblings to do and say things that were completely unacceptable. One thing I have to be honest with, Keith did not play that. I didn't play that. You don't disrespect my husband. You don't do it. I don't care, mother, father, sister, brother, you don't do it. And Keith was the same way. He did not allow me to be disrespected. I listened to so many relationships where people allow their partner to be disrespected because, that's my mom. The heck with that.
exactly.
My mom is not going to disrespect my husband. I'm
And
not
Ty said
having it.
something that Ty said sometimes relationships fail because they pick individuals with their parents' traits. Exactly, Ty. And then the problem is they pick somebody who's worse. See, here's the thing. Your mother and father may be horrible, but that little bit of love that they have is what stops them from killing you. You get with somebody who has some of those similar traits, and now they're damn near killing you because they don't have the love that your parents have, if your parents had any love, whatever. The idea is that we can grow comfortable with toxic situations where we actually need the poison to feel like we're loved. It happens all the time, male and female. You see it with men who cling to moms who are dangerous, disgusting, and nasty. And you go, but that's my mom, dog. Yo, that's my OG. What am I supposed to do? Cut her ass loose. She's sick. Well, yo, that's my dad. What am I supposed to do? That nigga crazy. Leave him alone. And you see it because, again, you feel like you owe because they got you to a certain age. No, God got you to a certain age in food.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, no one has the right to destroy you because they gave birth to you. Even the Bible doesn't support that. You're stewards. And a steward is someone who takes care of what somebody else needs. Your parents don't own you. And the thing that people got to realize, family has no right to bankrupt you in any way, financially, physically, spiritually, or emotionally at all. And that's no Kim. A lot of people are alone because once they realize it, depending on what age they realize it, sometimes that's just the best place to be. Now, if you can realize it younger and make those changes, break those generational curses, break those nasty toxic bonds, you give yourself more time to rock. Many of us, however, don't figure it out until we're older, and now the search changes because our circumstances change. So the earlier that you can figure out the damage, the longer you have to heal. So for anybody who watches what we do, the thing that Tiff and I do is to try to present things in a way that you can take it back to your circles and go, I need to think about that. And I want to say this real quick while we talking, because while we got Tiff talking, keep it going before she go to sleep. Coming up either in late December or early January, Tiff and I are going to be doing the Make a Marriage Cool Again cohort. And it's going to be a program, 8 weeks, where we're going to teach folks how to bring some excitement to their marriage, how to bring some fun, marriage or long-term
Marriages and
relationship.
long-time relationships.
Yes, marriage and long-term relationships, because we want to show people how to, the things that you see Tiff and I talk about, we're going to do over 8 weeks. Every night we're going to cover 2 different subjects. There's going to be a lot included. I'll put the information up soon, but it's going to be either late December. We might just wait till after the holiday and do it the second week of January, but I'll put the information out, give you enough time to be able to get your coins together, because we're going to try to show folks how to do this in their relationship. What we have here took 20 years, but we can show you how to do that. And the idea is that toxic situations require strength. It requires guile, and it requires a commitment to want to be better, but it starts within you. I saw that Tiff was being hurt by her family. I stepped in. Why? Because I had already checked mine. My family would say, Keith, don't come to this. Keith, don't come to that. So they don't ask. My father was no protector. My mother couldn't show us what type of man to look for because her would have recognized this. Yeah, and that's another thing, too. I need it in 5 minutes. You need what? Well, you need what in 5 minutes, Keisha? And so you got to fill me in. I missed something there, kid. Well, you needed what in 5 minutes? And then a kid said, I say it all the time, because you gave me life doesn't mean I owe you life. Thank you, Anika, without question. They couldn't show us. You got to understand, guys, that often your parents, our parents, I'm not going to say y'all, often our parents didn't have the skills because their parents didn't have them either. And we go on what we are exposed to. All you have to do is listen to some of the foolishness that elders try to sell you. Girl, hide your money in your closet because you don't know when that man gonna leave you. Girl, don't buy that man no shoes because he gonna walk out with the next chick with him. Yo, dog, you better check. Don't let her feed you no food. She gonna put a piece of her period in your food and she gonna have you hooked on voodoo. What? What part of the game is this? So the idea is that you have to notice, and so you got to know when you're being fed poison. And if you sit down at the table and keep ingesting it, well, why are you shocked that the things around you are dying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to recognize that. But once you recognize it, get help. That's where I come in. That's where people like me come in. Don't be scared of therapy. Sometimes a stranger is the best person to go to. No emotional connection. So, your father slapping you in the face 42 times didn't seem like the time to get up out of there? Maybe. Okay. So what are you doing now? I want to slap him. No. He's 70, 80. You might kill him. I know. So you need that. I'm going to need the love of man before marriage runs out. I got you. Yeah, we're gonna put it out there because it's 8 weeks. And it's going to be an interesting class. It's going to be virtual, so you can sit in the crib with your loved one. All we ask is that you show up with your partner. We don't want you there, and he's like, man, forget that. Or she like, I ain't doing that. No, y'all have to come together, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to be on together because we're going to go through ways to be able to show you how to bring that fun and just have that back that can make your long-term relationship as well as your marriage pop. And I'll put some information out which allow you to get on the waiting list so you can be one of the first people that we roll it out to. So guys, as we get to 11 o'clock at night, I just want to say to all of you, thank you, because the chat room, and thank you, Teacher the Y, for that Bible verse. I didn't miss it. I saw it. Um, I want to tell you that we enjoy doing this because Tiff and I used to do this every Thursday um, against Scandal and would have folks listening to us instead of watching Scandal. They would tape Scandal, come hang out with us, and then watch Scandal later. But the idea is that the reason why we do um, this is another event I'm going to miss. Kim, we're going to talk to you and we're going to get a survey and we're going to create something just for, this was for you, Kim, because you came up for the idea. So this was you, Kim. You got it. You didn't miss this tonight, Kim. But Kim, you're going to tell us what you need and Tiff and I are going to create it for you. So hit one of us in the inbox of what you'd like us to create and we got you. But the idea is sneaking in Dolo. I don't know, Keith. You got to come in with somebody. I'm sorry. You better put a prop up. You got to put like a mannequin up. Meet my friend the mannequin. So the idea is, hey Gloria, the idea is what we do here is this needs to be public. So like, no, they need to come here, Gloria. We're not doing that. That's why it's not public. They want in, they got to come here. Because when we made it public, folks found things to do. You come here, you get to watch it. We got you. So you know what you tell them, Gloria? Y'all need, and actually, oh, Gloria, they can go to my YouTube channel. I'll put it up in the what's the name. They can go to all the videos are on YouTube, and I'll give you the link in a second. They can go back and watch the videos on YouTube. But if they want to engage in the chat room here, they have to come and engage us here because it really goes down in the chat room. And not just to Kim, too. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. Every one of you watching, listen to me. If there are areas or things that you want us to cover, you want us to discuss, please reach out, put it in the group. Let me know. I put it up in the group before. I said, give me some subjects and some ideas of things that you want to watch or you want us to talk about. By all means, reach out because this is why we're here. I would rather deal with subjects that she said no blow up dolls. No.
Do blow up dolls count?
No. Ew. No. Anyway, so mess me up. We would rather talk about things that you guys came up with because we know that it's close to at least one person's heart what they want to talk about. But here's what I found over the time that Tiff and I have been doing this. We know that when we deal with one subject for one of you, it's going to touch home for a lot of you. I told you Wednesday, once I get Tiff talking about what was going on, you see, I just laid back in the cut and got quiet tonight because I already know what Tiff went through. And I wanted her to be able to explain that to you guys because we went through a lot with her family to get her to a better place. I was already there. So for me, loving my wife, I wanted to make sure that that poison doesn't come into our family. Her father called. Don't get upset, Gloria. Your father called at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Gloria knows our father.
He called at 1 o'clock in the morning, and he was, wanted to purge his soul. And he was like, "Can I speak to my daughter?" No. And he was like, "What?" No. First of all, don't call here at 1 o'clock in the morning. Your daughter's asleep. You can call up until about 9. After that, don't call here. And he's like, "Excuse me, I'm her father." Okay, you must got it twisted. I'm her husband. I just told you don't call my house after 9 o'clock, and I will let her know you called. Are we good? He was like, "Yeah, okay, have a good night, sir." That's it. Because in my house, I run this. I don't care who your family member is. I don't care what the situation is. You're not going to get close to my wife because you done drank a fifth or whatever. Not happening.
And the thing is, my father and Keith had a good relationship. Like they got along. He would come to the house and they would talk and everything. Like they had a good relationship. But Keith put his foot down. And sometimes, and this is a conversation I had with my sister-in-law too, with her husband. I said, sometimes you have to let your husband or your spouse take the reins, because sometimes you may not be strong enough. So early on in our relationship, I will say I did not have the strength. I knew that I was in a situation that wasn't healthy for me, but I did not have the strength to take that on. So sometimes your partner may have to take over, say, you know what, I'm going to step in. And like Keith said, when we were dating, he didn't say too much. He stayed quiet. He, just played his position. But once he became my husband, he realized that it was his responsibility to protect me even when I wasn't protecting myself. So
Kim
that's
says the
very
hardest
important.
part. Kim says the hardest part is my sister still plays the part she did from childhood. She might be damaged worse than you, Kim. The damage is real. Understand that the damage to each sibling is different. I counsel multiple children sometimes in a home. The damage that the parents do affects each child differently, because you got to remember the child's experiences are going to be different for each child. Tiff's relationship with her mother is different than Ronald's relationship with her mother. My relationship with my mom is different than my relationship with my sisters. So our connections are different. And this is what you have to understand. That's why I want you to understand this, everybody listening. When you don't see a sibling react to your pain the way you think they should, it is because they may not have the same feelings about the spouse, about your parents, about a family member that you have. So when you're looking for an ally, first of all, know that the ally is somebody who's actually going to come to your aid. They might actually be taking you back to the slaughter. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
mom, Tiff is telling Keith what you did. Really? I'll beat that ass. Hey, Keith, Tip, you don't know. And the idea is that you have to be very careful with that, because siblings are torn too. They love you, but they love the parents. And depending on how you were roughed off. And again, some parents will rough off the strongest child simply because they know that child can take it,
Mm-hmm.
damaging the strongest child.
And one thing I have to say too, because when I talked to my cousin the other day, I said to her that one thing I don't do is dismiss my brother's pain. I don't dismiss his pain because I didn't suffer the same pain he did. And I think that's
Exactly.
the worst thing like siblings can do, is say, oh, mommy wasn't like that, when you know that your sibling was being roughed off. Well, it wasn't that bad when you wasn't experiencing the same stuff. And although I didn't experience the same stuff my brother did, I acknowledge and respect his truth. I'm always going to acknowledge and respect his truth. I'm never going to say to him, it wasn't that bad. It was that bad for him.
But what she also does is she calls him on his BS too. Yes, you went through some what's name, but what you doing now ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your choice. That's another thing too. Hold your family members to their behaviors. Yes, you can address their pain, but when they're doing some real flipping and foolishness, call them on it. And that's the one thing Tiff would really get at her brothers. Like, hey, Tiff has watched me call my sisters on their foolishness all the time, and literally go, and what you gonna do? Don't do it. Shut up. Get out of my face. Because the idea is that I'm not gonna sit here and debate when you know it's wrong. We're not gonna do that. And you actually have to make sure that, again, when you are, and when you're dealing with family pain, and this is different than anything else. Family pain is different because depending on what your family mantra is, what y'all lean on, some of this is already baked into the cake. And yes, Keisha, I was getting to that, is that your level of healing and your level of forgiveness is different. And will I ever be good enough healing the daughters of narcissistic mothers? There you go. And Anika and Lakeisha, all of it is based on what the family mantra is. Some family mantras is the man can do anything he wants because he's the man. Some family mantras is, that's your mom. I don't care if she's the nastiest thing on the planet. You love her unconditionally. Some parents are, let them fight it out, and whichever one win, that's the toughest child, and that's the one I'm going to rock with. So every family is different. So the level of pain is going to be different. Every level of experience is different. How they're going to deal with it is different. I have seen families do things to their children who practiced alternative lifestyles that was just cruel because they didn't know how to deal with someone having an alternative lifestyle, so they were going to beat it out their child, harm their child. And I remember telling a parent, how is beating them going to convince them that you're right? And I literally had a parent say, because that's a devil inside that child. But if God creates children, how does that work? I ain't got time to talk about it. Just the way I thought. Because you have no answer. I've watched parents who, because they were talked to in a certain way, feel that that's the only way to talk to their child, not realizing that words hit like a brick. I had parents come up to the school with bottles clanging inside a plastic bag, and I said, how you doing, ma'am? I'm your son's teacher. Yeah, just tell me what his grades is. Got a little bastard. I know he's failing. I said, no, ma'am, he's doing pretty good. Really? How much effing money did he pay you to say that? And he's standing right there. So I look at little man and say, you keep doing the great work. Don't talk to him. Talk to me. I asked you a question. I said, excuse me. Lower your voice in my classroom. Now, I don't know what you do at home, but in here, we don't do that. And walked out. Okay, go ahead. And my heart dropped because I know he's got to go home to that. So the idea, guys, is that words are as powerful as the physical actions that you use. But at some point, you have to step up and say, I'm not allowing anyone to hurt me. And you have to find your footing, whether it's through a partner, through therapy, through faith, whatever it is. Because if you allow a person to continue to abuse you who's no longer in your life, it's not going away no time soon. It's not. And I sit with people every day who are trying to figure out why things are so bad in their lives. And when I try to hold the mirror up to say it's because of you, they don't want to deal with it. Your pain does not go away until you address it. And until you learn how to let it go and replace it with something else. We are all going to hurt. There are always going to be people that's going to hurt us. Some people that we expect to love us dearly are going to hurt us. But you don't have to stay there mentally or physically and allow anyone to keep hurting you. You don't. And if the people around you won't protect you, then get the hell away from them and find somebody who will. There's two types of family. The ones that are biologically connected to you by blood, and then the ones that are connected to you because you have the similar interest. So you can find a new family. Trust me when I tell you, you can find a new family. Don't stay tied to an old one simply because somebody told you a lie and said you have to. That family over everything bull that is taught to some folks is foolishness. Because you are how somebody treats you. Love ain't supposed to hurt. You can't call me family and then you trying to tear me down every chance you get. That ain't family. You're a devil and I'm not messing with you. Thank you, Cam. Alone but not lonely. I like that. Knowing when to walk away and cut the cord is the key. Exactly, Keisha. And words do stay with you. A 7th grade teacher told me I was the worst thing that my mother ever had. To this day, I remember his name, his face, and where I was when he said it. And if I asked every one of you right now, who is the worst or the best teacher that you ever have, you will remember. That's how powerful words are. So now imagine it's your mom. Imagine it's your dad that's doing you dirty. You're not going to forget that. What you have to do is replace it. Mm-hmm. If you replace it with love and a balance, that can go away. And the more you're around people who pour love into you, the further away from the pain you will get once you first address it. That's the key. Once you first address it. Because I can't save you if I throw the life preserver out to you and you turn your back to me. And I throw it out and you keep moving. So now I'm adopting you too. Yes, Kim, we got you, Kim. We got you. Not a problem.
Cool, Kim. Listen, our extended family is growing. We have a few adopted family members.
This home, that's why it's unapologetically Keith. We don't apologize in here. Just come on in and be you. And I got you, because what I'm going to do, guys, all of you, Wednesday, I'm going to go through the 10 list. I'm going to go through the top 10 list of the 10 tips of coping with dysfunctional, alcoholic, and toxic parents. So I'll go through the list on Wednesday. Monday, I may replay this show. So here's the thing. Listen, if you got people who need to hear this, tell them to show up on Monday. I'll put this in the watch party. Actually, I'll put this one because I was going to put both. That's too many. That's too long. Tell them to come in and check. Now, I put a link to to my YouTube page, all the old shows are on the YouTube page. They can go there and veg out there, or in the announcements. Just click announcements. But the problem with the announcements is you're going to see some of the other videos that I do in the morning there, and it might take you too long to scroll through them. Go to the YouTube page, join my YouTube page, and you can watch the videos there. This is a safe space for everybody. Every persuasion, everything. The only thing that we ask in this space is that you do not treat the other folks in this space rude. We had a little hiccup with that. We straightened it out. Person apologized. We great. The reason why is you're safe in here. Mostly women are in this group. No woman is ever going to feel that she's threatened in this group under my watch with my name on it. Not happening. And if at any time anybody in this group approaches you in any type of negative way, you reach out and I'll deal with it. Because this space here is for us to heal and to grow and to learn. Actually, to heal, learn, and grow in that order. And whichever one you need, that's what you take from it. But Tiff and I are going to put the food on the table, and whatever you do with it, you do. But no one's going to snatch it from you, and no one's going to hurt you here, because we grow by what we share. I'm glad, like I say all the time, it goes down the chat room, because if anybody comes back and just reads what you guys post, I know we didn't get to read everybody's response, and I'm sorry about that. But if they read what you guys wrote, that's where the real learning is. Yes, they can listen to Tiff and I. We love that. But it's the true feelings that you guys put in the chat room is what make this what it is. And I appreciate that and love you for that. And we will continue to bring. Now, before we end out, let's just go back over this again. Let me go back over the raffle for you guys. Okay? I reach out and get their address. Okay. Here's the thing. We have a raffle. And I'm going to put up a post, but it is a spiral. What is that?
It's a rotating makeup organizer.
Rotating makeup organizer valued at about $25. We have a pair of size 10.
Size 10 wide waterproof boots by Combo.
Okay. Retailed at about $80. I think it's $80 to $85. And then we have a winter coat, which is size 3X.
Yes, that's my Arctic edition. And it has a hood, a detachable hood. And yes, it's a size 3X. It's white.
And it's white. Got you. And that's valued at about $150.
About $150.
Okay, so you got, and then I'm going to toss it about 2 to 4 books. I got to sit down, probably about 4. So with a $50 entry, and I'll put all the information on how you can pay your $50. Now, here's how this works. With $50, you will be in every drawing when the wheel goes around if you get in for $50. So that means if I toss in 4 books, you're getting 7 shots at something for your $50. Now, I put a link to our apparel site. Every piece of apparel that you buy gets you another entry into the raffle. All you got to do is just send us your receipt, show us that you purchased it so we can see the date. Don't be trying to play no games. I know it anyway. But just show us that you purchased the apparel, and it will give you another entry. We'll put you in on the wheel. And if you purchase a book from our website, I'll put the link up as well. Every book you purchase gives you another entry. Now, here's the key. The apparel in the book cannot be purchased before you pay the $50 to get in. You can't go buy a book and get your 7 shots. No. You get the $50 first, and then anything that you purchase after that increases. Now, remember, once you have the original 7 options, every time you purchase something, you're getting 7 more shots. Send you, please, we'll send you a check. Message me. Okay, is that, Tiff will take care of that. So, Tiff, you saw that message from Kim?
Say it again.
Kim left a message. Message me your address so she can send a check.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll have all the ways that you can pay: Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. I'll have all the ways that you can reach us. Or if you want to send a check, that's fine too. We do take checks. If they bounce, we send the feds to your house. So, so Kim, I'm just saying, check the name. Goldberg, who's that? But again, guys, the reason why is Tiff and I are we're trying to open your eyes. That's right. Get it away, guys. Wake up.
Eyes are open. They're watering. My eyes are watering. This light is too bright.
The idea is we want to try to give back. We're doing okay, but we want to give back. Plus, we just want to say thank you. And so the contest ends on Black Friday. We're going to do a show on that Friday. and we're going to make sure that we have the raffle. So that show will be the raffle. We'll take our time and go through it. We'll make sure that all the winners are announced and they get everything. You don't have to pay for any shipping and handling. All that will be taken care of. We'll take care of the shipping and handling, make sure everything gets to you. So that way you'll have all your stuff by Christmas. And here's the other thing that we're going to do. If you want to give it as a gift, if you want us to send it to somebody else, when we reach out, all you have to do is say, Keith, don't send it to me. Here's who I want you to send it to. We'll wrap it up and send it to that person for you. You can let them know what to expect. We'll send you the tracking information so you can pay attention to that. We'll take care of that as well. Because what we're trying to do is just say thank you. We're making changes. My counseling business is growing. Our publishing company is here. But the goal is to try to help as many people as possible. So all we ask is that you let folks know we're here. Let folks know what I do with my books. Let folks know what I do with my counseling. And this is what I do on a regular. I don't work for anybody else. I work for myself. I'm home every day with the baby, and then I'm home at night talking to people. So we want to say thank you so much. And like I said, Monday there'll be a replay. Wednesday we'll go over this list, so make sure you tune in. And again, anybody you think needs to hear this, they got to watch it here. They can only watch it here live, and they can watch the replays on YouTube. It won't be public because they got to come here to the group because I like it better this way. And I love what you guys are bringing down. It ain't Trump. No. Listen, let's pray for that man because you got a lot of crazy folks out here. He get knocked off. Lord knows what cats is going to be out here trying to do. I got to go buy a weapon now just in case somebody run up in the wrong house. You picked the wrong house, homie. Yeah, no, don't turn around because I'll shoot you in your butt. Yeah. So before we go, any questions, anything before we go? Wow, it's been 2 hours. Kim did say we need to do 2 hours, right? Like we used to do our radio show. Kim did say 2 hours. Any questions or anything anybody want to say? Shoot it out in the chat right now, guys. Go ahead, because Tiff is about to pass out. I just hear KL moving around in there. As long as I don't hear furniture, we all right.
She was quiet for a while. I was like, let me go check on my baby.
You have her phone. I gave her her phone because actually the internet came back on, so I don't
Now
know if she knows.
she came to the door.
Extended version, yes, right, Keisha. It was extended version. We had a little blackout here, as well as I knew Tiff had a lot to say, Keisha, so I wasn't worried about the time. And as long as she was talking, she wasn't going to sleep because another thing too is cathartic when Tiff gets to talk about it because she went through a lot to get past all that foolishness. No, spin them around this. Yes, a cop told me that, Kim, listen, a cop told me that when I worked at the Crown Motel on Rockaway. He was like, if you shoot them, make sure they're facing you. He said, but if they turn and run away, don't shoot. He said, but they're coming at you, drop them and just wait for the cops to come and tell them what's going on. Can a friend join the group? Yes. Yes, Anika. All they have to do is just come. You can invite them, and I'll get the request, and then I'll let them in. It's no problem. I'll approve them because everybody's invited. It's just simply as long as you don't get out of pocket. As long as you don't get out of pocket, I don't have no problem because we want to invite as many people here. And we've actually, we got 159 people in less than 3 months or whatever it is, but it's open for everybody because there's no price here. There's no whatever. And if anybody wants to support, they know how to do that. But we're not charging you to be here because I want the conversations to be exactly what they are. And the shows are here to help. So yeah, invite them. Any other questions? I used to work for PD. I know, yeah, Kim. I listened. The officer showed me, and the officer gave me 2 24-hour gun ranges and told me, go to them, make sure you practice in the morning. And I used to work the overnight, 12 to 8. He said, go there about 10, shoot for an hour, come back. Go there at 8 after you get off work. And this way, if you ever have to shoot somebody, he said, make sure at the gun range you get in touch with somebody and let them know what you do. And if you ever have to turn your gun in, just tell them, look, I was taking it to the range. That's why it was with me at work. I said, this man just showed me how to murder somebody. But believe it or not, it helped because if you haven't read From Gigolo to Jesus, there it is back there on the wall. If you haven't read From Gigolo to Jesus, you'll know I used to work at a no-tell motel, hot sheet motel, and had guys shoot through a door that I was holding with my right shoulder here, and the bullets were coming right off to my side there. And if they would have shot through the crack, they could have killed me. But instead, they were scared of just busting through the door with a 9mm. And I was holding the door because if I'd have tried to run down the steps, they'd have just shot me in my back. And so, trust me, when I hear a lot of people talk junk about what they would do during gunfire, sound good. But yeah, the Lord spared me. I've had a gun put to me 3 times and I'm still here. So I don't take life for granted. Any other questions, guys? Anything that you want to share with Tiff and I before we go? This is the extended version. And we don't mind. Like I said, Tiff and I used to do this on our radio show. So, and we used to be about relationships. So we're used to doing this. But I wanted to give you a little bit about the cohort. Like one of the things we're going to talk about in the cohort is don't play hide the booty. So when you're upset, don't try to withhold the booty from your partner. Don't be like, okay, I'm mad at you, so you don't get none. We're going to talk about that also. Keisha said everyone has a plan until they get punched. No doubt, Keisha, that's it. Everybody tough until they take it on the jaw. But yeah, we're going to talk about things like that, communication, balance, impartial referee, being your partner's number one cheerleader. We got a lot of areas that we're going to cover. You're also going to get some free gifts with that. And
Thank
so
you, Anika.
we're going to do our thing. Yes, 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 yes. That was a tough day. And your mom, what is that? What block? Herkimer, right? Is that your mom is on, your
Herkimer.
grandma's on Herkimer?
Right
Right
up the
on the
street
corner
from
of
St.
Herkimer and
John's
Troy.
Hospital.
Herkimer and Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Herkimer and Troy. Right there at the corner of Herkimer and Troy in a brand new vehicle slumped between the seats. And the crazy part was she was dying of cancer and had 2 packs of cigarettes on the bed. So it was like, you still was smoking. Two
Mm-hmm.
pack of cigarettes in the Bible, right? I think it was that
Yeah.
she left
Her
on the
Bible
bed.
was on the bed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we know a little something about cancer. Tiff's mom to cancer, my grandmother to cancer, her
My
father to
father,
cancer,
my brother.
and my brother to cancer. Yeah. Anybody else I'm missing? Yeah. So we know a little something about cancer.
Thank you, Tony.
And then, like I said, this is a safe space, guys. And if you have any questions, and remember, if you need counseling, reach out. We'll work something out. I'm here to help. And again, I want to hear your subjects. Don't be scared to put your subjects out there. And if you don't want everybody to know, that's my mom right now. Really? Oh, my prayers, Anika. All right. Tell her to keep fighting for as long as she can. But if she's tired, and Nika, if she says, I'm tired, let her go ahead and rest. When they tell you they're tired, let them go ahead and rest. I lost my partner in 16, and I failed to go to Florida to see him. And I regret that because I should have went. But I allowed money to be the thing that I didn't fly down to Florida, and I live with that, and it drives me crazy because I remember when him and I were talking the night before he passed. He said to me, Keith, I'm so tired. I said, nah, bro, you got to keep fighting.
Thank you, Kim.
And
Love you too.
there you go. And I said, you got to keep fighting. He said, I'm just tired, man. And this is exactly what he told me. He said, don't I have a right to be tired? I said, yes, you do, bro. You that tired? He said, yes. I said, well, go on, lay down and get some rest, man. He said, I love you, man. I said, I love you too. The next day he died with his wife and his sons and family around him. But I knew that night was the last time I was going to talk to him. So when they tell you they tired, let them go ahead and rest. They know. But let them fight up until that point. Do what you can, Anika, and our prayers are with you. It's tough. We went through that. We know what that's like. So any other questions, anything like that, we appreciate you. Again, any subjects, if you don't want to put the subject out to the group, hit up my inbox and just say, hey, Keith, could you think about that? If Michelle Green is watching this, you gave me a subject a while back. I want you to hit me up again and give me that subject again because I want to do some research on it. I know it was dealing with parents. I believe that was in the nursing home, but I'll go back and check. And Michelle, I know you might watch this, or I'll reach out to Michelle because I know she gave me a good one I want to go on. But yeah, any subjects, let us know. And if it's a subject that you'd like me and Tiff to go over instead of me, that's cool. Say, can you and Tiff go over this? Or if you just would like me to go over it, tell me in the inbox. I'd have no problem in holding it for Friday and to go over with Tiff. I don't mind. I'll never be able to get Tiff to come on Wednesday with me, so I'm glad I got her on Friday. You're welcome, Nika. We got you. This is a safe space, and this is what it is. And I'm gonna put I'm gonna go to the Bible study group, and we're gonna ask the folks in the Bible study group to pray for your mom, Anika. So, and anybody that's interested in joining the Bible study group, we got a nice safe space there too. It's not rah rah. It's just study at your own pace. If you have some prayer requests, by all means. I keep it low key because sometimes folks just want to be able to do their thing with the Bible and not have anybody beating them in the head and telling them what they have to do. That's not what we do. So if you want entry into the Bible study group, just reach out to me and I'll send you an invite to my Bible study group. I post something every Sunday or Monday for you to study during the week. How do you get
How
unstuck
do you
from
get
someone?
stuck with
You
someone?
had brought
Yes.
that up.
Yes.
That's
Hmm.
interesting. We could talk about that. And what I want to know when you say unstuck. Oh, you know what? Yes, you mentioned that, Kim. That's on our list. We got that. I just want to do a little research so I can have some more formal things we're gonna talk about. But me and Tiff will put that together. Actually, I'll write that down too. How to get unstuck from somebody. So you know one of the first questions is what caused you to be stuck? How can you get unstuck? Yeah, I got you. Um, and that's a tough one because it all depends. Because if you have a soul tie with that, if you have a soul tie with somebody, it's very difficult because if you've exposed part of your soul with them and y'all have really exchanged some things, it can be very difficult because, oh no, thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. Um, it all depends on what you shared with somebody because if you really laced your soul out there and y'all have connected, even if it was in the wrongest of wrong, it is real tough. But we'll talk about that. That's interesting. I'll definitely do some research and Tiff and I can try to tackle that and hopefully it'll help. That'll be interesting. How to become unstuck from somebody. I look forward to that. But again, guys, anything that you guys want to talk about, there's nothing that can scare us off. We can talk about everything here, as long as it ain't vile. I'm not trying to talk about nothing vile. And we definitely not doing no politics. And we'll talk about like racism. So I'm not doing left or right because I'm an independent. So we're not doing politics like that. So look, y'all. Tiff is down a little bit. Look. How do you get stuck? How do you get stuck? Well, you get stuck with because it depends on how y'all come together, Keisha. And what happens is, well, we'll talk about that, Keisha. We'll explain that. Yes, we will, and that there it is right there. That's the trifecta because that is what encapsulates everything. Keisha, I got you on how you get stuck. It is the emotional, soulful, and physical connection that you have with somebody, but depending on what it's based on, you could wind up being connected to somebody that you can't disconnect from because you opened yourself up to maybe somebody that you should not have been with. But we will have that conversation. Thank you for asking for a friend. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Tiff got the elbow up. Uh-oh. She's almost out of here, y'all. I'm trying to get stuck. Careful, Keisha. Whoa. Whoa. Keisha. 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 Hold on, Keisha. There are some folks floating around here. Careful. You gotta clean that up. Don't say I'm trying to get stuck. Not on a Friday night. Oh, yeah, your inbox about to start jumping. You're going to be getting chili peppers and eggplant emojis.
So you want to get stuck, Keisha?
Yeah, okay. I'll stick your mama. Yeah, you're going to be getting, you're going to have a lot of fans. How you want to get stuck, girl? I can help you.
Honey, I got to go to the bathroom.
That's Tiff's way of saying I got to get up out of here. All right, so listen, guys, she got to go to the bathroom. We got to go track down our child because she done probably cooked a whole meal in there while we are two different parts of the house. So listen, guys, it has been fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. As always, we love what you do. Thank you for being here. I will see you on Wednesday. Replay on Monday. Remember to invite those. Remember the raffle. If not tonight, first thing tomorrow, the raffle, the information will go up along with pictures and videos. So it will be up. I have it on my phone. Remember, tell people, share it. Because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to see if I can talk to some folks to donate some things to the raffle. So I got a feeling that the value of the raffle will increase. So the more that you get in, the more that you will have opportunities. And so we will put all that in. But I'm going to talk to some folks. Be careful what you wish to talk to, Kim. I'm going to put some things together. But I can tell you right now, 4 of my books will be donated as well. The 3 items that we talked about, and I'm going to talk to some other people to see about including some other items that they would like to add to this raffle. And the price is not going to go up. We're not going to charge you more. We're just going to tell you, try to get in as much as you can, and we're going to do what we can do. See you soon. All right, time to go. Let's go find our child and call it a night. God bless, God. Even the dog is still up. Yeah. Good night, guys. God bless.